Hello, guys. Good day. This is Anne of Reinforce Me Club. Today, we are going to talk about how personal boundaries help you. Now, when you have healthy boundaries, it means that you're going to have a good mental and emotional health. What I'm trying to say is you can do the things you want to do in a daily basis without anything or anybody bugging inside your head. For example, you got upset to your husband yesterday. So there are things that you missed doing at home. And now you're working and you're still thinking about it. So, because you didn't communicate to your husband about the issue, as a result of that, it is still inside your head while you're working. Another thing is when you have personal boundaries, you can influence other people's behaviors by way of teaching them how to treat you and at the same time respecting their boundaries as well. So when you have personal boundaries, you can also avoid burning out simply because you know how to say no to those requests that are not in alignment to you. And when you have boundaries, you are also going to be autonomous. What I'm trying to say is you can make decisions confidently and deal with the consequences because you are responsible to it in the first place. Lastly, when you have boundaries, you can build your own identity. You can even declare to yourself, like, for example, you can be an extrovert when you are surrounded by people who truly loves you, who wants what's good for you. People who can even say the uncomfortable truth just to see you succeed. And you can even say to yourself that I can be introvert when I am surrounded by shitty people. I mean, what's the point of bragging when they just gonna put me down anyway? Now, building boundaries boils down to self-awareness. It means that you know exactly your strengths and weaknesses, your values and beliefs, your goals and aspirations in life, the most important people in your life. And of course, when you know your characters, your feelings, your intellectual capabilities, you know exactly your limits. And you have to communicate it respectfully and sincerely to others, whatever it takes. Now, setting boundaries means you have to say it clear and straightforward without raising your voice. You also need to set your needs directly by communicating it to a person in a way of saying what you like rather than what you don't like. That's much healthier. And lastly, when you set your boundaries, you have to accept the consequences of it. Sometimes it's not positive. I mean, not sometimes, but most of the time it's going to be uncomfortable, which means that you're going to feel guilt. You're going to sometimes it's a shame, and sometimes you can get negative reactions to other people. And to be honest, I am still working on myself. So when I set boundaries, sometimes I don't really raise my voice, but I say things I say the things that can offend people because there are people who really gets into my nerves, and it doesn't mean that I really mean that, but since I've already say it, and I am responsible to it. So whenever I say things that really hurt people, I deal with it by apologizing, by eating my pride, and it's not easy. It's not easy to hurt people. That consequences is it's uncomfortable, but it's a learning process. So apologizing is also a way for me to build relationships. So that's also showing my vulnerabilities that I am a real person, I am perfect, and I mess up sometimes, and this is part of it. But you know what, guys, that really works for me. So because of my vulnerabilities, I can able to attract people. I mean, real people who resonates my energy, my vibration. Although I don't really want to hurt people, but there are times that we can't avoid that, but we really do our best not to. And to deal with that is to really apologize and change our ways so that you're going to have a harmonious relationship while working with other people, or at least when you part ways as friends. Now, setting examples of healthy boundaries are just merely saying no or declining what you don't want to do. As simple as that. Plain and simple. If you don't want to do overtime up to 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., just simply say no. Although in your mind, in your head, oh my gosh, I don't want to let my boss down. But you don't want to be burned out too. You want a quality time with your family, and that is more important than that thought inside your head. So just simply say no. And when you say no, you're happy at home, and your boss respects your decisions and all. Every happy days. Another example of a healthy boundary is by merely expressing your feelings in a respectful and sincere manner, regardless of the consequence of being rejected, of being hated or abandoned or accepted. So it's way better to say things that you need to say right now in order to get results rather than deal with the regrets in the long run. So you're going to carry that regret throughout your life. So it's way better to get that shame, rejection right now and move on. I mean, that's way better. That's much healthier. That's much proactive. That is much, you know, invigorating to your energy to really renew and redirect your attention to something else rather than carry that thing for the rest of your life in a way of regrets. And when you have boundaries, you tend to be honest. Not too honest, not too rude, but honest to people that you love. When you're honest to people that you love, you want them to succeed. And part of that is saying things that they don't like to hear. And you got to say that because you love them. All right. I hope you know what I mean. All right. Let me explain again. Some of you, like for example, my friend likes to build a business. I mean, straight away. So so just since she have no knowledge about the business yet, I just simply tell her, I know you can start a business tomorrow because you have the money and you have the means and you have the right network. But please have your due diligence before starting. And take your time doing research and take your time thinking if that really works for you. It will save you time and energy. I know I know that you like that business. I support you, but I don't want you to just rush on it. Take your time. And you know, she was also listening to me and she did her research and right now she opened a business in the city center. And I told her again that just never give up. Even if your business fails or whatever happens, never stop. It's gonna hurt you. And she's a businesswoman, by the way. I just tell her, don't give up. Don't stop. If you think you have a good future on it and you're gonna grow from it, don't stop. And another thing about healthy boundary is that you can actually address the problem directly to the person without involving the third party. And lastly, having a healthy boundary means you can make your expectations clear to other people without expecting them to assume that they're going to know the things that you want. So just tell them straight up, just like terms and conditions, which are important in business and in relationships and for everything. Boundaries are important for all aspects in life. So it's way better to really use it well. Again, when it's worth doing well. So that's it for today. This is Anne of Reinforce Me Club telling you live, learn, repeat until you make it. Thank you very much once again for listening. Have a lovely day.